In today's video, I want to take you guys through a little process that I learned how to go from scaled to RX. So when I started CrossFit, I didn't have everything down pat. I didn't know how to do double unders, I didn't know how to do muscle ups. There was a lot of things I didn't know how to do. And you get chucked into a class and you get into a workout and there's all these different movements and you want to give them a shot, but you just can't because you don't know how to do half of the stuff. And it can leave you feeling pretty deflated and frustrated at the same time, because then you got to scale back and you're looking at other people in the class and you're going, well, I want to do what they're doing. First tip right off the bat is stop comparing yourself to others. Just focus on what you're capable of doing and where you want to go with it. So when we get into the points that I've got up here on the board, the first one would be use the class times as a learning opportunity and use them effectively. So the classes are really designed for you to go in and learn those skills. Learn what those movements are and what they're going to be looking like when you do the workout. So when it does get to RX, what are those movements going to look like? How many are you going to have to do? What's the weights involved? Yada, yada, yada. So use it as a learning opportunity. If you've got questions, ask them in that time. That's what the coaches are there for, is there to help you. The second one, using your time effectively. So when I say using your time effectively, allocate 5 or 10 minutes before and after the session. So what I found really helped me out, spending 10 minutes after every session. We'd go through the workout, do the strength movements, do the Metcon, and then we'd do mobility. And then after that 10 minutes, I'd practice one of the skills that I'd learned in the class. So, if it's you and you're at double unders and you haven't got them yet, practice that in that 10 minutes. It's all it takes. 10 minutes, if you're going in 5 times a week, that's 50 extra minutes of practice that you're getting in that week. It could be something as simple as double unders. It could be more complex up to a ring muscle up, if that's what the level that you're at the moment. I'm telling you, within 2 weeks you will make massive improvements, and the same before. So if you've got any mobility issues that are hindering particular things like front squats, for instance, or thrusters, maybe the wrists are a bit tight, spend some time stretching those out. The third one, build your strength on some key movements. So there's a few key ones that have a lot of carryover here. There's a lot of emphasis on learning your snatch technique, and there's clean and jerk technique, but if you haven't got the strength to actually do it in the first place, it's not really going to serve you any purpose, and you're not going to be able to move from scale to RX. So I would focus on, and this is what I did for myself, and it worked quite well. So for your hip hinge movements, you want to go with something like a deadlift. Deadlift carryover to things like cleans, even snatches to some extent, is massive, and a deadlift will get you stronger overall. Your front squat, for obvious reasons, thrusters, front squats, catching the bottom of a clean as well. The transfer is quite high there. Strict pull-ups. So rather than just relying on the kip, if you haven't got pull-ups and then you're just going straight into kipping pull-ups, you'd probably be better off practicing your strict pull-ups first. If you haven't got to that level yet, you can go with something like a ring row and just over time progress it. So if you're starting quite on an angle and you're rowing yourself up, over time work your feet further out so you're more horizontal, you're putting more strain and more load onto your body. Alternatively, you can go and grab a weight vest and chuck that on as well. Dumbbell presses. So really simple. Some CrossFit gyms might not have many benches available, so just grabbing 2 dumbbells, sitting yourself on the floor or against a wall. I would start with hands in a neutral grip and just pressing the dumbbell straight up. It's going to carry over to things like thrusters, to strict press, to handstand push-ups, you name it. Dumbbell rows as well. So a lot of the times with movements such as front squats or cleans, for instance, people find that their elbows are dropping and they end up dropping the bar. And part of the reason is because their upper back is not actually physically strong enough to hold the elbows in that higher position, so that extended thoracic spine. So by incorporating dumbbell rows into your program, you're going to start to build up the strength in your upper back. That's going to carry over into those movements as well. So increasing your grip strength is going to be another important one too. Obviously everything in CrossFit involves your grip strength, whether it be pull-ups or muscle-ups, barbell complexes. Everything's got some element of grip work in there. So if you have a naturally weaker grip, chances are by strengthening your grip, you're going to be able to handle more weights and more likely jump from scaled into RX, which is what the whole goal of the video and our mission is. Increasing your grip strength, for me, wasn't much of an issue. I was a carpenter for several years, and we were constantly moving things throughout the day. So we were constantly picking things up, swinging a hammer, using tools, you're constantly using your grip, and therefore it basically builds up strength over time. For others who, you might have a desk job where you're not really using your hands much other than typing, that's going to sort of limit your grip strength. Then when you come down to do a workout and you're doing a lot of pull-ups, the first thing that's going to go is the weak link, and for a lot of people that's the forearm strength. What I did as well, and what I do with a lot of my clients who this is a problem for, is actually get them to train the grip first as one of the first things that they start to train. So again, if we go back to our earlier point, using your time effectively, it takes 10 minutes. So I'm going to show you some exercises to do that's going to help strengthen up your grip as well. So this is another one that is good for training your grip. Just, grabbing 2 kettlebells, really, really simple. Again, try, if your gym's got the ones that have the thicker handle, they're even better, use those. Just one in each hand, and we're literally just going to stand for time, just holding onto these kettlebells for as long as you can, making sure that by the time your grip starts to fade out, pop them down, rest, stretch them out, then go for another set. And finally, the last one is strengthening your core. So it goes beyond just, doing heaps and heaps of ab mat sit-ups. If they're in a WOD, naturally that's going to be a limiting factor as well, the strength of your core, but it also is a limiting factor for most of the big lifts. And a lot of your gymnastics works come down to your core strength is a limiting factor. So practicing static holds, so things like such as planks, side planks is another good one. Hollow rocks are an obvious one for gymnastics. Practicing those regularly, again, before and after the sessions, but also some other things as well. So I've got a few exercises that I do with my clients that help build the core strength, and I'll show you those as well. So a good core exercise that I use currently with myself and my clients is known as a suitcase carry. I'm going to show you this right now. So it's basically taking 1 kettlebell and we're going for a walk. So we're picking up 1 kettlebell in one hand and literally taking it for a walk, making sure we're staying nice and vertical this way and nice and vertical this way. So we're not having to lean over just to support where the kettlebell is. We're staying nice and straight and we're just walking with the kettlebell. So try that out on each side, do a number of sets each time you go into training as well, and that will really help strengthen up your core for all the other lifts. Put those into action in a step-by-step process, and I guarantee you'll be going from scaled to RX very, very soon. So if you like that video and you want to see more content, click on some of the links down below and make sure you click the subscribe button so that you get notifications of new content that's coming up. Thanks for watching.